Hi and welcome to the latest ancient Egypt news from the 4th week of January. A Cairo criminal court sentenced an Antiquities inspector to life imprisonment, 25 years, in a high-profile case involving the theft and smuggling of 370 ancient artifacts from a landmark museum. The ruling comes in one of the largest antiquities smuggling cases to hit Egypt's cultural heritage sector, with 3 defendants charged with conspiring with an unidentified accomplice to smuggle the stolen artifacts out of the country. The case dates back to 2015. According to court documents, the defendants, including 2 antiquities inspectors, exploited weak security measures and poor storage controls inside the museum's storage facilities to steal artifacts entrusted to their colleagues. Investigations reveal that 2 of the defendants produced counterfeit replicas of the original artifacts, placing the fakes in storage rooms to conceal the crime, while the authentic pieces were smuggled abroad in coordination with an unidentified individual. Prosecutors said the defendants were fully aware that the artifacts constituted priceless national heritage protected by law. As of the beginning of this year, the Sekhmet goddess sanctuary inside the Karnak temple in the Temple of Ptah is no longer freely accessible. Its doors have been closed to the public, ending a long season in which the famous lioness statue attracted many visitors. The problem that led to this sad decision was that, unfortunately, not everyone approached the place with due respect just because of the peculiar characteristics of the goddess. Sekhmet was the goddess of healing. Even the most powerful pharaohs invoked her protection, like Amenhotep III, who in the courtyard of his funeral temple at Kom el Hatten had placed about 365 statues of the goddess, one for each day of the year, as part of a complex ritual system to invoke the goddess. The small sanctuary dedicated to the lioness deity in the Karnak temple is almost hidden in the enormity of the complex and is described as an intimate place that oozes strength. The meeting with the powerful was very suggestive. You could see her standing with pride and power in the darkness, illuminated only by a ray of light coming in from a skylight. Thus, almost as a gesture to ward off evil forces or to absorb their energy, the sculpture was touched constantly, and over the years it has been repeatedly the subject of pseudo-esoteric practices, as well as being smeared with candle wax, poured on its feet, or with oils spread over the stone. From now on, the meeting with the powerful Sekhmet will only be possible by obtaining a special authorization and for a fee, following a procedure very similar to the one already in place for the Osirian of Abydos. Only small groups of a maximum of 30 people will be allowed to enter the sanctuary, and the time allowed will not exceed 1 hour. The cost is not known yet, but it's easy to imagine that it won't be within everyone's reach. Tour operators will also have to apply for a special paid permit. An Egyptian-Chinese archaeological mission has announced in Luxor that they have uncovered an ancient sacred lake at the Montu Temple precinct in the Karnak temple complex, in the city renowned for its rich monuments in southern Egypt. The newly uncovered sacred lake within the Montu Temple enclosure lies west of the Ma'at Temple, dedicated to Ma'at, the ancient Egyptian goddess of harmony, justice and truth. Covering an area of more than 50 square meters, the lake is an ancient man-made water reservoir with a well-defined structure and is well preserved. The lake has not been recorded in early archaeological archives, according to the Joint Mission archaeologists. Together with the previously known sacred lake of the Montu Temple, the discovery forms a unique layout of 2 sacred lakes aligned north and south within the Karnak enclosure walls, said Jia Jiabing, the Chinese head of the project. The new finding fills a gap in Egyptology and Egyptian archaeological history. It's not only the discovery of a second sacred lake, but also the only sacred lake uncovered through systematic and scientific excavation in the history of Egyptian archaeology, Jia said. Sacred lakes were an essential component of ancient Egyptian temple architecture and were regarded as holy sources of water, distinct from domestic water supplies and reserved exclusively for ritual use within temples, he explained. Hend Ali, a senior inspector at the Montu Temple and an Egyptian member of the project, said the discovery is something rare that crowned the hard work of the joint mission for 8 years. Archaeologists also unearthed dozens of cow jaw remains and reused stone blocks associated with kings and the divine adoratrice from the late period in this area. Beyond the sacred lake, excavations in the Osirian chapel area uncovered 3 chapels dedicated to the god Osiris, Shia said, adding that archaeologists also recovered dozens of Osiris statuettes of various sizes and materials, along with fragments linked to the divine adoratress. The divine adoratress of Amun, also called God's wife of Amun, was a priestess title in ancient Egypt, held primarily by royal women, like Pharaoh's daughters, who served as the symbolic wife and chief ritual attendant of the god Amun at Thebes. This discovery provides new archaeological evidence for further reconstructing the history of Thebes under the rule of the god's wife of Amun of the 25th and 26th dynasties, according to Gia. The Montu temple site is located in the northern part of Luxor, covering approximately 106,000 square metres, of which about 24,000 square metres lie within the enclosure walls of the temple precinct. To date, the joint mission has excavated a total area of about 2,300 square metres. Since 2018, the first Egyptian-Chinese joint archaeological mission, formed by the Institute of Archaeology of the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences and Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, has been officially conducting archaeological excavations and research at the Montu Temple. The project has also received support from the Zhengzhou Municipal Institute of Cultural Relics and Archaeology and the Institute of World History of the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. After making its international debut at the Newport Beach Film Festival in early January, The Man with the Hat, a new documentary centered around Egyptologist and former Minister of State for Antiquities, Dr. Zahi Hawass, has become available on streaming platforms including Apple TV and Prime Video. Directed by Jeffrey Roth, the film was shot across a range of archaeological sites in Egypt, including locations that have rarely been filmed and others captured on camera for the first time. While the documentary moves through tombs and excavation sites, its focus is on Dr. Hawass himself, tracing his early life, career trajectory, and role as one of the most recognisable public figures in modern Egyptology. The film examines Hawass's academic background and his rise to prominence, highlighting key moments that shaped his public and professional identity. Viewers are also taken inside newly opened excavation sites, offering insight into ongoing archaeological work. Often associated with his trademark hat, Hawass has played a central role in several high-profile investigations relating to ancient Egypt, including research into the death of King Tutankhamun, efforts to locate Cleopatra's burial site, and various campaigns for the repatriation of Egyptian artifacts. And that's it for this week. This news podcast is brought to you by Ted Laux and GNT Tours. Ancient Egypt News is rated in the top 5 Egypt history podcasts, according to feedspot.com. For 2026 tour dates, check out our website, gnttours.co.za. Follow us on social media, including YouTube. Thanks for listening to this episode. Please feel free to comment and share. Until next time, thanks again. Cheers. Bye-bye.